Welcome everybody to It Be Like That, where any and everything is bound to happen because hell, it be like that. Today I got a story coming out of Hawaii where three dead and a dozen others was left injured. Was supposed to be a New Year's Eve celebration, which turned deadly. Let's get into it.
Hawaii News Now. This is breaking news. And that breaking news, a tragic start to the new year on Oahu after a massive explosion of illegal fireworks killed at least 3 people and left at least 20 others critically or seriously injured at a home in Aliamanu just after midnight. This drone video shows the moments the fireworks display at Keaka Drive began booming out of control. Hawaii News Now crews were on scene just minutes after the explosion happened. We want to warn you, some of the images you're about to see are graphic. This footage shows some of the first moments of the tragedy, just a scene of chaos. You can see huge piles of black and burnt debris lining the street, windows blown out of that home and on nearby cars, people rushing out of the garage trying to get help. One man we spoke to on scene told us he tended to some of the injured before EMS arrived.
It's pretty devastating, like a bomb went off there. Well, I'm still in shock from it, just from seeing the victims, and I'm gonna have a really good talk with my kids about this. It's a learning experience.
And we've learned some of the injuries sustained were shrapnel and major burns. We're also told HPD's Specialized Services Division bomb unit recovered homemade illegal fireworks from the scene. And we have team coverage tonight. Our Eddie Dowd is live at the scene of the explosion with more. But first, let's get to our Mahealani Richardson, who has the latest information from officials who held a news conference earlier today.
Mark, it was a somber, sobering, and at times graphic news conference with horrific details. Officials say it looked like a war zone after a bomb of illegal fireworks went off. The video shows the utter devastation. Now, the deadly fireworks explosion happened at a home on Keaka Drive in Aliamanu just after midnight. Police said 2 women were pronounced dead at the scene, and a third woman later died from her injuries.
Damn.
More than 20 were injured. Many of them had critical injuries with burns over their bodies and shrapnel wounds. Tonight, they are fighting for their lives. HPD's police chief says the explosion was caused by what's called a cake with roughly 50 illegal aerial rockets in it. It tipped over and fired into the carport that set off more illegal fireworks inside.
Either it tipped over or a table it was on tipped over based on the high heat it was generated from the fireworks, the cake they call it, and that once it turned sideways lit off the rest of the fireworks that were nearby, and that's what caused the mass explosion.
We're angry, frustrated, and deeply saddened at this unnecessary loss of life and suffering.
Officials say this was a mass casualty incident with more than a dozen ambulances. Medical teams set up a triage and a special area to transport all of the patients to nearby hospitals. In fact, even nearby Salt Lake Boulevard had to be shut down. EMS says a 3-year-old child was also transported to the hospital in an ambulance, but many others took themselves to the hospital.
The truth is that people had traumatic injuries so badly that brain material was across the sidewalk from the ferocity of this explosion. And we want people to hear that, because that is what is really possible with these explosive fireworks.
We did not actually transport a lot of patients with minor injuries, but I remember a 12-year-old girl with burns on her legs and some shrapnel, and some family members with shrapnel, and then just a lot of kind of 30s and 40-year-old walking wounded, so to speak, that found their own ways to the hospital.
The mayor says year after year, these illegal fireworks have gotten out of control, and officials once again are vowing to crack down on the illegal pipeline of fireworks coming into our state. Now tonight there is a criminal investigation into who set off that illegal cake and whose fireworks they belong to. Also, officials recovered more than tens of thousands of dollars of fireworks from the scene. Meanwhile, Dr. Jim Ireland, who's the head of the Emergency Services Division, says first responders are used to seeing and being in difficult situations, but this is something they never want to see again. Reporting live from HPD headquarters, I'm Mahia Lenny Richardson.
Tragedy, you guys. What was supposed to be a celebration for the New Year's turned into people dying, people being scarred for life. They said it was 3 females that was killed, 2 on the scene and 1 in the hospital, which led me to think they was the ones closest to it, or wherever it tipped over and it started exploding under the carport, they must have been under that carport, which, from what I understand, had more explosive material in the carport, which started those as well. I done dealt with fireworks all my life growing up, 4th of July and things like that, you know what I'm saying? My parents always taught us, the do's and the don'ts, saying what happened if this happened, this and this and that. We all silly and stuff and call ourselves doing what we wanted to do and stuff. I'm going to be honest with you. It only took me one time to get hurt with a bottle rocket or a fireworks. And you know what? I got some act right. That shit never happened again. You know what I'm saying? It's just a tragedy that a lot of innocent people was injured doing this. Because they said over 20 people was injured. And I'm sure them 20 people probably wasn't even exposed to this cake or had nothing to do with this cake. There was a bunch of fireworks together to make a big display. Which, honestly, the display looked good, but it wasn't a good act that happened, that caused it. Like I say, you guys, 2025 is starting off crazy. It's starting off real crazy, you know what I'm saying? This is just one story that started off the New Year's crazy with a lot of people injured and a few dead. Till the next one, you guys. Thanks for tuning into It Be Like That, because it ain't everything about to happen, because hell, it be like that. Till the next one.